Colleague from Ohio, Senator Voinovich, has been a longtime advocate going back to his days in Ohio for better educational opportunity for every child. And I'm going to yield the floor and look forward to his statement at this time.
Mr. President.
Senator from Ohio.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I want to thank Senator Lieberman for the leadership that he has shown on this effort to make a difference in the lives of students in the District of Columbia. I think that the senator from California did a beautiful job of outlining the difference that it has made for just the few that have been able to participate in the program thus far. I rise, of course, to support the amendment, an amendment that will continue to give thousands of children in the District of Columbia an opportunity for a good education. It was first authorized in 2004, and the program has the potential to provide 1,700 children with scholarships of up to $7,500 each to attend the school of their choice. To qualify, students must live in the district and have a household income of no more than 185% of the poverty line, and in the district, the recipient's average family income is $24,300. So these are very, very poor kids from families that are just making it, and it's not something that we've created to make available to everyone. Unfortunately, Mr. President, while the program can provide 1,700 children with scholarship, it does not. Increasingly prohibitive language in the appropriation bills and a hostile administration, and I mean hostile, has already decreased participation significantly. The program now helps just over 1,300 students. You know, it's baffling to me why this administration has focused so much attention opposing a successful program which has provided a high-quality education to more than 3,300 children. According to the independent evaluator of the program, participating DC, this is a quote, participating DC students are reading at higher levels as a result of the Opportunity Scholarship Program, end of quote. That is why since 2004, approximately 9,000 families have applied for spots in the program, nearly 3 applications for each available scholarship. In his fiscal year 2011 budget request, President Obama has indicated that this will be the last year he expects to request funding for the program based on declining participation. Give me a break. I would say to the President, it's difficult to participate in a program that's closed to new applicants. Participation levels are down because the Secretary of Education rescinded more than 200 scholarships to deserving children for the current school year, as he did so after enrollment in desirable charter and public schools had already begun. Are we really going to allow these children to return to failing, unsafe schools? High school graduation rates in the district's public schools are consistently among the worst in the nation. According to the Washington Post, who, by the way, has editorialized in favor of this over and over and over again, just over half the district's teenage students attend a school that is persistently dangerous, as defined by the D.C. government. On the average school day, 9 violent incidents are reported throughout the school system. I'd like to say that Michelle Reed is doing her very best to bring back the school system. Our D.C. TAG Tuition Assistance Grant Program has been helpful to many of these students. In fact, we've increased the attendance to college education because of the TAG program. She's doing everything that she can. But here's someone that's come in here, she wants to make a difference in the district, and she, before our Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, came out strong and said, this program should be continued. Mayor Fenty, the mayor of the District of Columbia, again said, this program should be continued. What I find troubling is that some of our leaders who have exercised their right to school choice are denying that right to district parents. President Obama enrolled his children in private school. There's no way he'd allow his kids to attend the D.C. public schools. And listen to this, Secretary of Education Arne Duncan moved his family to Virginia saying, I didn't want to try to save the country's children and our educational system and jeopardize my own children's education. Hear that? I don't want to try to save the country's children and our educational system and jeopardize my own children's education. He's got that opportunity. These people that take advantage of the program don't have that opportunity. To quote former D.C. Mayor Anthony Williams, quote, "It's only fair to allow low-income parents the same choices that we all have to select the best educational environment for our children," end of quote. In a letter to Senate Democrats regarding the D.C. program, the National Education Association wrote, quote, "Throughout its history, NEA has strongly opposed any diversion of limited public funds to private schools. Unfortunately, the letter neglects the fact that the scholarships were designed according to a three-sector approach under which not a single dime has been cut from public schools." In fact, when we came in with this program, I think the senator from Connecticut remembers that we put $14 million into charters, $14 million into the public school system, and $14 million into the scholarship program. So we didn't take a dime away from the district. In fact, they made out quite well on it. 14, add up 3 times 14, whatever that is. That's not bad, coming from the Congress, so we can move forward with some new ideas. But I got to tell you something, the merits of the program are of little importance to the NEA. I know this because after endorsing my 1998 Senate campaign, here's what they said. "It is fair to say," quote, I love this, "it's fair to say no other governor has done more for education in Ohio's children," end of quote. That's from the NEA. Then quickly withdrew support for my 2004 campaign because I supported the D.C. School Act. And I was told, I'll never forget it. I went in and did the interview, and they all sit around, you know how it is, and I answered their questions, and after it was over with, my opponent did the same thing, and then later on I heard back from the people that were there. They said, "You did a terrific job. We appreciate what you've done, but you're not going to get it, because we've been told from the boys in Washington there's no way that you're going to be allowed to endorse Voinovich because he came out for the D.C. scholarship program." And Mr. President, I know that the same kind of pressure is on many members of this Senate. And what they're afraid of is if they vote for this amendment that Senator Lieberman has, it's going to hurt them with the OEA or the NEA that they have in their respective states. Now this is, Senator Lieberman's done the job explaining what this is not a big deal. Why can't they stand up, okay, and say, this is a little bitty program that's helping a bunch of kids in the District of Columbia. Give me a break. Why shouldn't I support it? Why shouldn't I support it? Now, Mr. President, I may be a little emotional about this, but Ohioans knew that this was a good program way back in 1995 as governor when I supported opportunity scholarships in the Cleveland Scholarship and Tutoring Program. But Ohioans, this was opposed, of course it was, but Ohioans knew that it was a good program. Over 1,900 students participated in the first year. So with hard work and dedication, we fought for the program for nearly a decade. And finally, on June 27, 2002, the United States Supreme Court, in a landmark decision, agreed that the program was constitutional in Zellman versus Simmons versus Harris. Mr. President, when I leave the Senate, I'm going to write a book. And one of the things I'm going to talk about in that book is that landmark decision that started out in the state of Ohio in 1995, because I told the legislature that the Cleveland system was going down the tubes and they needed to do something else. And we finally got them to agree to put that scholarship program into Cleveland, Ohio. And as a result of that program, over 1,900 participated in the beginning of it. Today, there are 6,000 students that are participating in that program. And the benefits, I would like to say, that go beyond the academic. I think that the senator from California did a beautiful job of laying out how this helps academically. But a study by the Buckeye Institute in Ohio found that students involved in the Cleveland program are gaining access to a more integrated school experience. And this is very important, that they have this kind of experience. I know that my children, this program wasn't available when I was mayor and probably wouldn't have been eligible for it. But I'll never forget that my son George was the only white kid in his class in the major work program in the city of Cleveland. And I have to tell you that he's a different person because of the fact that he had that experience. My daughter was one of 2 white kids that were in a class that was all African American. The program was terrific, and they took advantage of it, but they had a learning experience that they wouldn't have had if it hadn't been for this program that brought kids together for a special program. In his closing testimony before our committee, former Mayor Anthony Williams said, quote, "Quite frankly, I'm befuddled by the proposal to have the program die by attrition. I cannot understand why anyone could eliminate a program that has uplifted the lives, fulfilled the dreams, and given hope to thousands of low-income families." End of quote. Mr. President, I am also befuddled by that idea, and I urge my colleagues to stand up and be counted, support the Lieberman amendment. Let's let these kids have an opportunity that without this program, they're not going to have available to them.
Mr. President.
Senator from Connecticut.
Mr. President, I rise to thank Senator Voinovich for his statement. Actually brings several thoughts to mind. The first is, Senator Voinovich, I'm going to miss you when you retire at the end of this year. You're a straight shooter. You're a straight talker. You speak from your heart. You've had a lot of practical experience as a mayor, governor, member of the Senate, and you bring it all to bear in what you just said. Secondly, I look forward to buying that book that you're going to write. I hope it's about your career broadly, but I'd be real interested in that Ohio Opportunity Scholarship or Voucher Program.
Mr. President?
Ohio.
Yeah, I would like to say that I hope that one of the things I write about is the Lieberman Amendment that passed the Senate while I was in my last year.
Well, let's call it the Lieberman-Voinovich Amendment. Senator Voinovich has spoken from his own experience, and the Ohio case, incidentally, as he said, is the one. Sometimes people say that opportunity scholarship or vouchers are constitutionally